Poland annexed a bit of Czechoslovakia in the Munich Agreement. Oh, Zaluzzi, I guess. I already am getting synthetic refineries. That is what this is. And I already have lots of oil production. The only reason I need synthetic refineries is for rubber. And rubber is more of a thing if you're going Air Force heavy, which I'm not. So when I was playing as Austria-Hungary, for example, I had loads of them because I had a massive Air Force. But Romania's strength isn't in the air, it's the tanks. Because you have natural oil production. You're one of the few Europeans who does. We are probably on the verge of war, so I'm going to wait with my political point so I can, yeah. Oh, please don't give up now, Czechoslovakia. We got this. It would have been easier if we kept Sudetenland, to be honest. Absolute favourite Hearts of Iron 4 campaign I have done. Does that include mods? That's the main question. Okay, so mobile infantry or blitzkrieg. We will be using infantry, but I have a feeling that blitzkrieg is actually going to be our main tool. Again, this depends on whether the Czechs hold. We're going to wait until we know whether we're going to be on the defensive or on the offensive. Because if we hold Czechoslovakia, we'll be on the defensive. No, sorry, on the offensive. If we don't hold Czechoslovakia, I'll be on the defensive. Because I'll start being surrounded by enemies. Fall of Nanjing. Japan's winning. Oh, Japan's winning hard. Although, no, this area of land isn't that valuable. All of China's strength is over here on the east coast, and Japan hasn't done that well over there yet. We get another general, which is a bit meh. Or we get the Royal Guard Division, which is a unit with 7 infantry and 2 artillery battalions. That sounds pretty good. And then I think we probably want the Armoured Division, and then acquire modern tanks. And then the mobile tank destroyers. Oh, and that gives us heavy tank model ahead of time. Interesting. So yeah, let's get the Royal Guard divisions. Our Royal Guards must be expanded, as appropriate for our great king. Not the king that we've disenfranchised. Oh, for fuck's sake, Czechoslovakia. Okay, well that means we're on the defensive. In fact, we are going to be neutral for the time being, because Slovakia lost their bit to Hungary. I guess that means the Soviets are going to be my biggest threat. So in other words, we wasted a whole bunch of time going down the Czech line. Awesome. I think I'm still going to go Blitzkrieg though. Tank breakthrough and organisation. Organisation recovery rate. Mechanised and motorised organisation versus this, which is motorised, mechanised, infantry organisation. Yeah, we'll go Blitzkrieg. And we're not going to be at war any time soon now. So we can concentrate on other things. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7. 1, 2, 3. Nah, definitely want industrial techs. Oh, we should have got the theorist. That would have been smart. Oh well. Guys, you come over here. Why are you guys not exiled? You are. That was weird. I'd bet Union of Britain, Kaiserreich. No. I mean, if you're talking about with mods, I would say Russia on Kaiserreich. Or possibly Germany on Kaiserreich. That was a lot of fun too. Russia probably the most with Wrangel. That was a really good campaign. And the Vive la France, like the very first Hearts of Iron 4 game I ever did. That was so much fun. Like, no historical hindsight, so I didn't defend Belgium. First use of heavy tanks in my infantry divisions. It was good. It was really good. Because the Germans almost got to Paris. They got to, like, here. And there was a last-ditch defense of Paris because I was playing without historical hindsight, which meant the Germans came through Belgium because I just didn't fortify it. I was relying entirely on Maginot. Pulled my mobile forces back over here when the Germans came through Belgium. Managed to slow them enough to fortify Paris and then push them back again. It was a really good game. Just don't defend Belgium until they actually declare war on Belgium, as basically France did historically. You guys may as well just sit there and get your preparation bonuses going. I don't really know what my objectives are now, seeing as they've completely foobarred me. Poland refusing the alliance and Slovakia leaving. Czech. In fact, does this mean I'm still in a faction? Because I can just, yeah. I might as well disband it because I'm not in a faction anymore. I can always form it again in the future. But this would allow me to join the Allies. And we are democratic after all. So I would like to join your faction. There we go. Excellent. Oh, sorry. I didn't realise you were watching it. Well, there's a lot of things in that I didn't say. Like, after the war in Belgium. Interesting things happen. Especially with another certain nation which is not in Europe. Okay, military factories. We have spare military factories. Let's get more tanks. And it is 39, so I can start researching medium tanks. Which I think I should. I also need more steel, now that Czechoslovakia doesn't exist at all. Who am I going to buy it from? France. I want you to have a stronger economy. And am I exporting oil? I am. Oh, quite a lot actually. Interesting. So I might well want to improve my oil extraction so I can sell more of it. You know what? Let's do it. It will also mean I get the additional research slot. It is critical to keep up with the demands of modern Air Force. Our industry must be capable not only of producing the machines that we require in the first place, but also of doing so at a pace fast enough to replace operational losses. And that also gives me more military factories. Italy has joined the Axis. Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Fall of Poland is on its way. See, you should have allied me, Poland. Justification against us or our allies. Oh, is Poland the allies? No. But you are doing Danzig War. Okay. So you know what I could do? Is I could shift some of my troops over to France. That would be dangerous though, especially while the Mediterranean is not ours. So no, I'm going to wait until the Royal Navy and the French Navy have had a bit of a chance to beat on the Italians. And I need to be careful that I don't send too many of my troops over there. Medium tanks, that's what I'm after. T-39. Wasn't that Russian? And the computing machine. 39. I don't have that one. Sea control, that's your new objective. If you ever get pizza, get it with garlic on it. Really? Garlic? Nah, need garlic. France bans communism. Okay, good. Someone made a tank dating simulator and they had puns. Okay, interesting. Okay, so what do I want now? I have a surplus of everything. I think I just want more heavy tanks. Or more infantry equipment. Or more motorized. Or planes. Do I have any modern planes? I have absolutely no planes whatsoever. And more tanks. We can always upgrade them later into SPGs. Hey, Capital Brazil. The naval crap's not hard. I can show you it now. So basically, navies have technically 5 stances, but only really 4 that matter. You have patrol stance, search and destroy, convoy raiding, and convoy escort. Each stance determines how spread out your fleet is. So if your objective is to hunt down and destroy enemy convoys, then you want to be very spread out so you can find them. If your objective is to destroy enemy fleets, you want them very, very narrow. And the reason for that is, if the enemy fleet finds yours when you're spread out, they're going to be picking off your ships one at a time before the rest of your fleet can arrive. But if your fleet is already gathered into one section, then as soon as you find the enemy fleet, you have the firepower advantage, and you can bring your big ships to bear faster. So basically, if you're hunting down enemy hit-and-run fleets, or if you're hunting down enemy convoys while you have a surface fleet, not a convoy fleet, sorry, not a submarine fleet, but a surface fleet. So if you're using destroyers or cruisers, then you want the patrol order. If you are trying to hunt down enemy big fleet, so if you're, for example, the Italians trying to hunt down the British or the French in the Mediterranean, then you want to be search and destroy. If you are trying to destroy enemy convoys, particularly if you are a submarine, then you want convoy raiding, so you'll basically run away as soon as a bigger fleet arrives. And then finally, if you want to protect your own convoys, then you do convoy escort, and generally you won't engage enemy fleets unless they're engaging your convoy fleets. So those are the 4 different stances. Each fleet can control up to 3 different sea zones. So for example, if I wanted to go, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to, because I don't think I can get through the Bosphorus. But if I wanted to do search and destroy, yeah, I can't get through. So bad example, but you can basically right click on 3 areas and then they'll undertake the mission that you have selected. And then there are all kinds of different strategies as to whether you want destroyers, if you want cruisers, whether you want battle cruisers or battleships or heavy cruisers. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve. Like generally, light cruisers are good in all situations. I really like light cruisers. If you have a fairly technologically... No, if you're going to be outgunned at sea, you want battle cruisers. So if you're playing as Germany, for example, because battle cruisers are very good at hit-and-run tactics. So they'll go in, they'll do a lot of damage to the enemy's smaller ships, and then get out of there before the enemy battleships can respond. If you have just a generally large surface fleet like Italy, France or Britain, then you probably want to have battleships and light cruisers. If you're having big problems with enemy submarines and you want destroyers, if you're not having any problems with submarines, forget destroyers, they're crap, go for light cruisers. Submarines generally aren't great, I haven't had any good experiences. And then finally, if you are trying to cover like extremely large areas, say the Pacific, then you probably want carriers. I think that's about all to say. The reason, by the way, for light cruisers is they have very good anti-air, so especially in the inland seas, so for example the Baltic, the North Sea, the Channel and the Mediterranean, light cruisers have the best anti-air ability. So if you don't have your own carriers for fighter defense, or if you don't have land-based aircraft giving you air cover, then light cruisers are much more resilient against air attack than other units. Then finally, heavy cruisers. I used to use heavy cruisers instead of light cruisers if I had industry, but I've since realised that heavy cruisers are considered capital ships. They are not screens, and you do want a mix of both. Heavy cruisers are kind of good all-rounder. They are cheaper than battle cruisers. So I guess if you have a big fleet, you probably want battleships, heavy cruisers and light cruisers. The heavy cruisers to hunt out and destroy enemy light ships, then the battleships to beat their own capital ships when that happens. Take revenge on Slovakia. Invade Hungary. If you capitulate, it's death or dishonor. Like, I've had the most success actually with battle cruisers. I really like battle cruisers. Battle cruisers and light cruisers are extremely tough. Right. Research. So speaking of navies, I probably should have invested, but I am allied with France and Britain now. I don't really need a navy anymore. What I do need, however, are fighters, so I can take the enemy in the air. Before we do that, though, what are my best aircraft? ICAR, so that is fighters and heavy fighters. That's interesting. Fighters and heavy fighters. I'm okay with this. That's actually a really good combo. Because heavy fighters are really good at destroying enemy bombers, so they're interception, while fighters are really good at air superiority. They're good at enemy destroying enemy fighters. So having a mixture of the two means you cover all bases. Create the greatest fleet, a fleet that will pick up tea. So you basically want me to have, oh, what were they called? Cutters. They were just for running tea from India to England, like the Cutter Sark, great example. Alright, basically just waiting for Danziger War now. You are a very small squadron of fighters which can go and fortify. Actually, I'm going to wait and see where the enemy deploys their aircraft before I deploy, because I have two different air areas. More military factories. See, this is why I really need to have aircraft so I can start building them. More heavy tanks. Can't go wrong with too many heavy tanks. India has tea, you say? Colonizer Raj. Obviously. Romanian Raj. Poland refuses German ultimatum. Considering the demands, it seemed inevitable. And we got the IAR. Huzzah. Expand the Polesti oil production. Get another 24 oil in Muntentia. We possess some of the largest oil fields in Europe in Polesti, and these are of tremendous importance not only for ourselves but our allies and other nations in the region. We should increase the field's production to better meet the demands. And actually, we have just scuppered Germany because Romania is one of Germany's main oil oil suppliers. German Reich has declared war on Poland. So at this point, are we going to... Yes, you are calling us to arms. Ah, so are you. And that's probably going to merge those battles into one. We could actually go and fortify Poland now. You know what? Let's do it. Let's send you up to fortify Poland. Let's send you to go and deal with Prussia and take that out. Go. And the cool thing about that is I've got fully developed preparation. So we can really cause some problems over here. I'm missing tungsten and chromium. I know, but not in big numbers, so I don't really care. I don't want to waste the civilian factories. I'd much rather build up my own factory output. Generally, if I'm less than 4 short, I don't care. If it's between 6 and 8, then I might consider using it. But as it stands right now, it's not enough of a deficit to matter. War economy. I know I was waiting for something. And also more free factories. What do I want to use you on? More heavy tanks. Now I want to buy some steel. And I think I may also wish to add heavy tanks to these divisions now that I can. That is a big deficit. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to edit you, I'm going to duplicate you, and we're going to say it doesn't work. Infantry mit Panzerunterstützung. Yeah, except I'm not Germany. No, that's silly. Mobile, no. Tanky infantry. That'll do. Then you get heavy tanks. None of you actually exist, which means I can form 3 divisions of tanky infantry. Perfect. So we're going to pick these 3. We're going to change your division template to tanky infantry. Correct. And also I just realised I have some units which are not assigned to an army. The Royal Guards. Super elite Royal Guards. Hello! You can join that. What's your division template? Lots of artillery. Alright. And then more tanks so we can start upgrading our tank divisions. More reliably. Do you want to know why Romania is so good with tanks? Their excess engine heat is used for boiling water. Water for tea. Tea for the Empire. Empire for the world. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think boiling water is really used in my Scottish tea. But I like the idea. Ghost Division after Sabaton song. That is an absolute tune. I just want to say that is an absolute tune. And I want you to be the tanky division. Tanky icon. Alright. Hopefully we can get over here to support the Poles quickly enough. Right now we're not. Guys, come on. Let's go. Oh, they weren't in the app. That shouldn't matter. Go. There you go. Jeez. I joined your war already. Now I need to be very careful about Poland's capitulation. Because if my troops are left over here, then they will struggle. Ah, right. That's a problem. Slovakia needs guarding too. Yeah, I don't want any of you in there. That's just silly. Alright, our tanks are actually arriving. How's Poland looking? Poland's looking okay. Alright, with that in mind, we can also shift our aircraft over here. Because we really don't have very many. So let's have you fly in. Oomph, oomph. And then with our aircraft here, we're going to fortify this. And fighters. Oh, just fighters. We're going to set you both on air superiority during the day. I'm not going to be doing any anti-bombing. And we're going to slow things down so I can actually keep an eye on how things are going. Yeah, the new air features are really good. I do agree with that. Oh, you guys are done. You can go and join his army. Right, well, we seem to have stopped the offensive for the time being. You may as well cause some problems. Where are my tanks? Here, tanks, 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 tanks. Where are you? No, come over here. Let's go and hold them in position. Let's bring you... No, kind of attacking me into there. Alright, back off. Not worth it. Well, we have actually halted their advance. Yay for Romania! Huzzah. Fortunately, you guys don't have the experience, but so be it. And we can modify the government again. Still can't get the tank designers. Airborne, no. Bomber attack, no. We don't use any of those. Chief of Air Force, ground support, or air reformer. Air experience gain is actually a really strong one. Wait, why are you saying I can modify my government? Aircraft designer. Really? For 50? Oh! Okay, that's why that's not as good. Because it's cheap. Actually, to be fair, I need to get ICAR before I actually research those tanks. Those aircraft. I think the air features are free. So they're not part of the DLC, they'll be in the patch, I think. In fact, I'm pretty sure. Warm pizza is better than cold pizza. Oh gosh, what is a Whig and what is a Tory? A Tory is a Conservative, which is the current government in power. The Whigs are an old political party which are now defunct. They don't exist anymore. I couldn't tell you what their political stances were, though. You know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing an opportunity. In fact, I'm seeing a couple of opportunities. Because the Germans have not done a very good job of fortifying themselves.
Attenzione!
You want to go and stop me, do you? Nope.
Gata de marș! Atenție! Sub foc inamic! Haideți, începeți deplasarea!
Let's not attack that. That would be silly, wouldn't it? Yeah, for the time being, I think we can basically just hold these positions. While the French wear them down on one side and the British keep on naval invading. I like it. Works for me. Let's make sure that we keep getting more factories coming. Could also get some more synthetic refineries. Let's do that. Actually, am I short on rubber? I'm short on chromium is what I'm short on. Who is selling chromium? Yugoslavia. Screw that. Oh, England! Chromium. More tanks. Lovely jubbly. And steel. I think I will buy in some more steel. I mean, you guys are my allies, so I'm quite happy to beef up your industry at the expense of my own.